Hello friends, in this video I want to introduce to you something really cool. It's a Trait Predictor project, and this is not on my website. The reason it's not on my website is because it relies on opening windows, opening pop-ups, and Google Sites does not allow that. Google Sites does not allow pop-ups for some security reasons, or I don't know what the reasons precisely are, but it's not going to work. I can't just embed this code into my Google Sites. However, that's not a problem because I built it with Github sites. So this predictor and this trait predictor, this project is actually something that I'm working with. I'm working together with some other people in college. All of the coding for the actual trait predictor is done by me. Nobody else is doing that. I'm the only person in my group of 4 people who's actually doing the coding for the trait. They do other useful stuff. They do PayPal API. They do all kinds of APIs so that we could get money to store the data. They're dealing with that stuff. But I'm the one that's working with the actual trait predictor. I'm the one that's working with actual SNPs, and I think this is the most fun part of the project. Working with SNPs. That's what I like to do, and I'm completely content doing what I'm doing. So when you click on the repository, in the README page actually has a link to my trait predictor. So you click on the link and you get to open my trait predictor. Let's do that. So this is my trait predictor. This is kind of so you can see the architecture, right? On the top left is the link page, which you will see the link in the description of this video. You will see the link to this page in the description of this video. Let's choose the file. Well, I'm going to show you choosing my file. This is a text file. This is a 23andMe file, but I'm also going to show you what it's like to choose a MyHeritage file. So we're going to click Analyze Genome, because there's a difference. There's a little complexity because MyHeritage files are in CSV, comma separated values format. We're going to enter my name. Okay. So this is the typical result. Oh, you can read this if you care, but I don't really care about that. This is all what I make videos on, right? But at the bottom, let's scroll down to the end. At the bottom, you see these two, something I just added. Polygenic risk scores and reset polygenic risk scores, these two buttons. So let's click on the polygenic risk scores button. We clicked on it and suddenly we get this window popping up. That's what it's looking like. 6.4 times the average odds of schizophrenia for Northern Europeans, and 6.3 times the average odds of schizophrenia for Sub-Saharan Africans. That's for me. Pretty high odds for diabetes too, and pretty low, like 2 times lower than average odds for Alzheimer's. So far, we only have Alzheimer's and type 2 diabetes and schizophrenia, but as time goes on, I'm gonna add more and more traits here. You're gonna see this page grow, you're gonna see it grow. Okay, that's kind of what it's looking like right now. But you see at the bottom, there is a button that says Reset Polygenic Risk Scores, and that's a very important button. Why is it so important? It's so important because if you don't refresh the page, all of the values remain the same. So if you don't refresh the page, every time you analyze a new genome, the values for polygenic risk scores remain the same. So it's going to look for the same genome or for a different genome, and it's going to keep multiplying these values, and you're going to get the result that's a multiplication of the previous result times the following result. Unless you click on Reset Polygenic Risk Scores, which basically resets them all to 1. We click on the Reset Polygenic Risk Scores, and now we see everything is 1. So if you don't refresh the page, you have to reset polygenic risk scores. It's very important that you reset polygenic risk scores after every genome that you analyze. If you don't do that, you're going to get a completely bogus result, and it's going to be very messed up. Now, let's look at what about a MyHeritage file, right? So we click on debug. This is where my MyHeritage file is. And you gotta click on all files because MyHeritage is not a text file format, it's a CSV, comma separated values file format. Then we find my file. We're gonna see a slightly different result. We'll click on this again. It's gonna ask us to enter a name. We're gonna enter my name. Alright. enter my name, scroll down to the end. Well, it's all pretty much the same thing, but we scroll down to the end. Polygenic risk scores. Suddenly we get this result. So it's kind of more of the same, really. Yeah, more of the same. Reset polygenic risk scores. Now we're going to take a look at my sister. Reset it every time. You gotta reset it every time you do it. Keep that in mind. You gotta reset the risk scores every time you do it. We're gonna enter the name Katya. Alright, so to the end. Polygenic risk scores. Get this result. Yep. Now we reset it again. And then we run my brother. Okay, it's gonna ask for a name. We're gonna enter Max. Alright, and we see more of the same. Wait, let me show you the buttons. Polygenic risk scores. This is what we get for the polygenic risk scores for Max. And he's actually got a very high risk score for Alzheimer's. Interesting, Alzheimer's. Interesting stuff. Reset it. Well, that's pretty much all there is to it. That's all I wanted to show you. Now, a question you might get coming up is, are the variations that are used to give you the polygenic risk scores, are they what you see on the screen? Is it this? And the answer to that question is, well, why don't you look in the code? Okay, I'm gonna give you a more friendly answer. The more friendly answer is that some of them are here, but there's also, the majority of them are not on the screen. The majority of the variants that are used to give you the polygenic risk score prediction are not going to be here on the screen. So that's what I want to tell you about my genome analyzer tool. You can find the link to use this tool in the description of this video. The link to my GitHub repository, if you really want to look at the code, is also going to be in the description of the video. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy it. It's free. Do use it. And that's all I had to say. Goodbye.